Namaskar, a very warm welcome to World News, an Indian perspective on All India Radio. This is Manoj Singh Rana bringing glimpses of major developments of the day from across the globe. The headlines: Donald Trump and Joe Biden exchange barbs in the first US presidential debate. India and China seek to ease tensions on LAC at the 19th meeting of Working Mechanism on Border Affairs. French president says Turkey's warlike rhetoric is encouraging Azerbaijan to conquer Nagorno-Karabakh. The US imposes another round of Syria-related sanctions targeting 13 entities as well as individuals. And Alexander the Crow named the new Prime Minister of Belgium, while Crown Prince Nawaf Al Sabah takes oath as the Emir of Kuwait. US President Donald Trump and Democratic challenger Joe Biden began the first presidential debate with heated exchanges. The two leaders were engaged in a war of words over healthcare, the coronavirus, and the future of the Supreme Court. Both leaders arrived in Cleveland, Ohio, hoping the debate, moderated by Chris Wallace, would energize their bases of support. They have been eyeing the support of the undecided voters who could decide the fate of the election. Fighting for an edge in their bitter campaign, the two leaders frequently interrupted each other with angry interjections. Here is a glimpse.
The 200,000 people that have died on his watch, how many of those have survived? Well, there's 7 million people that contracted COVID. What does it mean for them going forward if you strike down the Affordable Care Act?
Joe, you've had 308,000 military people dying because you couldn't provide them proper health care in the military. So don't tell me about this.
I'm happy to talk about that.
And if you were here, it wouldn't be 200, it would be 2 million people because you were very late on the draw. You didn't want me to ban China, which was heavily infected. You didn't want me to ban...
All right, gentlemen,
which was heavily infected. You would have been much later, Joe.
With just 35 days to go for the election and early voting already underway in some states, this was the first of 3 debates scheduled between the 77-year-old Biden and the 74-year-old Trump. The next debate will take place on October the 15th, followed by October the 22nd. India and China have agreed to sincerely implement the agreement between their foreign ministers reached at Moscow meeting. The move is expected to ensure disengagement at all the friction points along the line of actual control, or LAC. The agreement emerged at the 19th meeting of the Working Mechanism for Consultation and Coordination, or WMCC, of India-China Border Affairs. The meeting was held in a virtual mode. Both sides emphasized on strengthening communication, especially between their ground commanders. More from Prasad Bharati, special correspondent in Beijing, in this report.
This is the first WMCC meet since the foreign ministers of the two countries met in Moscow on the sidelines of a SCO meet earlier this month. Experts say it's a good sign that both the countries are continuing their talks despite the standoff along the LAC. At this juncture, it is important to implement the steps outlined in the joint press statement issued after 6th round of senior commanders meet so as to avoid misunderstandings and to maintain stability on the ground. Strengthened communication, especially between the ground commanders, is the need of the hour to ease the situation on ground. Anshuman Mishra for World News, All India Radio, Beijing.
French President Emmanuel Macron has said that Turkey's warlike rhetoric is encouraging Azerbaijan to reconquer Nagorno-Karabakh, and that is unacceptable. However, Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Çavuşoğlu reiterated Ankara's backing for Baku. He said Turkey would do what is necessary if Azerbaijan requests its support. Dozens have been reportedly killed and hundreds wounded in the fierce fighting between Armenian and Azeri forces that broke out on Sunday. Nagorno-Karabakh is a breakaway region inside Azerbaijan run by ethnic Armenians. The skirmishes have spread far beyond the enclave's borders, increasing concerns about stability in the South Caucasus region. This area is a corridor for pipelines carrying oil and gas to world markets. Japan's defense ministry is seeking a record high budget of nearly 5.5 trillion yen, that is $55 billion for 2021. The move is to fund expansion of its capability to counter possible threats in both cyber and outer space. The budget would be an 8% increase from the current year. The rise came as a push for Japan's self-defense force to expand its international role and capability amid threats from North Korea and China. This is All India Radio giving you the world news. The US on Wednesday imposed another round of Syria-related sanctions, this time targeting 13 entities as well as individuals. Washington is bidding to push Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's government back to United Nations-led negotiations and broker an end to the country's nearly decade-long war. Meanwhile, US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said on Wednesday he was concerned about China's plans to extend its economic influence in Italy. The Italian government has promised to be on its guard as it developed new 5G technologies. The US has repeatedly urged Italy not to deepen ties with China. Pompeo said he had reiterated the message at meetings with Italian Foreign Minister Luigi Di Maio. Belgium formed a new government on Wednesday with caretaker Finance Minister Alexander De Croo named as a new Prime Minister. Belgium has not had a full-fledged government since December 2018 when a four-party coalition collapsed. After weeks of talks, 7 parties spanning the French-Dutch language divide agreed to form a coalition. It replaces the caretaker administration of Sophie Wilmers, which was appointed at the start of the coronavirus pandemic in March. Kuwait's Crown Prince Nawaf Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah is the new Emir of Kuwait. He took the constitutional oath before the country's unicameral parliament as the new ruler of the Persian Gulf monarchy. His appointment as the new leader was declared after the government's emergency meeting on Tuesday. It followed the news on the death of Emir Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Sabah. India and Bangladesh have agreed to set up a high-level monitoring committee to regularly review the implementation of projects being run with a line of credit provided by India.
In the 6th round of Joint Consultative Commission meeting between India and Bangladesh, it was decided that a high-level monitoring committee headed by the Secretary Economic Relations Division of Bangladesh and High Commissioner of India would be set up. It will regularly review the progress of implementation of projects being run with line of credit provided by India. On the proposal of Bangladesh inviting investment from top investors of India, the External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar assured that it will encourage the potential investors to invest in Bangladesh. Rajesh Jha for World News, All India Radio, Dhaka.
Now let's take a look at the coronavirus updates from around the world. According to WHO data, the number of infected cases has crossed 33.44 million worldwide. The WHO chief urged more countries to join COVAX facility as death toll exceeded 1 million. Meanwhile, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres cautioned that it is time to act against COVID-19 boldly.
COVID-19 is an acute crisis, but the problems the pandemic has exposed are chronic pre-existing conditions. Ignoring these warning signs is an act of planetary self-harm. We must stop the virus in its tracks, respond, recover, and strengthen our systems for the future.
In India, the total COVID recoveries today crossed the landmark milestone of 5.19 million as the recovery rate improved to 83.33%. The Indian Civil Aviation Regulator, DGCA, has said scheduled commercial flights from India would remain suspended till the 31st of October. However, international cargo and passenger flights approved by the Indian government will continue to ply. Moving on to sports, in French Open tennis, world number 1 Novak Djokovic eased past Sweden's Mikael Ymer in straight sets. It was his 32nd win in 33 matches in 2020 and kept him on course for a second French Open title and 18th career major. In the Indian Premier League cricket, Kolkata Knight Riders has set a target of 174 runs for 6 wickets in this stipulated 20 overs. In its reply, Rajasthan Royals had scored 50 for 5 wickets in 9 overs as per the latest updates. India is celebrating the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Before we end, let us listen to Vaishnav Jan by artists from Morocco. And with that, we end this bulletin. See you at same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.